A Minneapolis man is accused of killing his child's mother on Thanksgiving with their 2-year-old daughter in the home.
On Thanksgiving Day, a man finally told his ex-girlfriend she could come pick up her belongings. He had her clothes, her daughter's clothes, everything she owned, and he'd been using them to control her. So she went. Hours passed, and she called 911 from inside his house, telling them she was terrified and he wouldn't let her leave. Officers showed up, knocked briefly, then walked away. That same night, 5 different 911 calls came from that address. But by the time police finally went back inside, she was seriously injured with a wound on her back. The man who did this had done the exact same thing twice before. Before we get too deep, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you find value in these discussions.
Oh, ew. Why you look at me, you weirdo? Ew.
Ew.
That's so gross.
Offended.
Ew.
27-year-old Raven Bianca Gant was born in Chicago, but her family eventually relocated to Minneapolis, chasing better opportunities. And Raven took advantage of that. She worked full-time as an accounts manager at the Union Depot Hotel and studied hospitality management at the same time. She was working toward a clear goal, building a career in hospitality while creating the kind of stability she wanted for her future.
I would describe Raven as fun, loving, the life of the room, probably the most fashionable in the room.
Jakara says her best friend Raven Gant had a knack for style, and she earned it.
Raven has always been a super hard worker.
Raven was an accounts manager at Union Depot Hotel, a hardworking mom to JJ.
I want her to know that she had an awesome mom who loved her very, very much.
Around 2016, she met Randall Watkins, who had a criminal history that stretched back to his teenage years. In 1995, when Randall was 16 years old, he got into a dispute with a friend. The argument was reportedly over $30. Instead of walking away, Randall shot him. He was convicted, served his time in prison, then moved to Minnesota after getting out. There, he met Raven. In 2017, Raven and Randall had a daughter they named Regaya. That little girl became everything to her. From that moment on, Regaya was at the center of every choice Raven made. She wanted her daughter to have both parents around, to grow up with the kind of stability every child should have. But Randall's behavior changed pretty quickly. He became fixated on controlling Raven, monitoring who she spoke with, where she went, every move she made. When that control slipped, he turned aggressive. Raven stayed quiet about it in the beginning. She hid what was happening from her loved ones and didn't want them seeing the reality of the situation. But her family eventually figured it out.
My daughter knew that she was being abused, and she tried to get out of it. But by the time she tried to get out of it, it was a little bit too late.
One afternoon, when her family met up at a restaurant for lunch, Raven walked in with bruises all over her face. Everyone knew Randall had done this, and her father couldn't just let it go. So he decided to confront Randall about what he'd done to his daughter. Raven's father went over there, said what he needed to say, then turned to leave. As he was walking away, Randall pulled out a weapon and shot him 3 times in the back. Raven's father made it to the hospital and survived those injuries, but he refused to tell authorities the real story. His plan was to deal with Randall himself, outside the legal system. As a result, Randall faced no charge for that incident. Raven knew what Randall had done, but she told her father and her brother that if they wanted to maintain a relationship with her, they needed to let it go and move on.
It was just like any other holiday. And I had no idea of all of this that was going on because of the lengths that my sister was going through to protect this man.
Her reason was that Randall was the father of her child, and she didn't want him going to prison. Raven's father was closer to her than almost anyone in her life. He loved his daughter deeply, and even though it tore him apart inside, he respected her wishes. Now, Randall's history didn't stop at that 1995 conviction. Records show he got charged in 2010 for assault and interfering with a 911 call. this time involving another ex-girlfriend who had a child with him. Those charges were dismissed. In 2012, that same woman filed for a protection order against him. In July 2019, Randall was charged with gross misdemeanor for hitting Raven, but those charges were dismissed too. The pattern was right there. Randall kept getting away with violence, and every single time, he felt like there were no real consequences for what he did. Raven had her own history too. In August 2012, she had an altercation with 2 security guards at a Brooklyn Center apartment complex who were keeping an eye on vehicles speeding through the lot. When they used a flashlight to get Raven's attention, things escalated, and Raven threatened the guards during the exchange. The charges were second-degree assault and 2 counts of threats. In 2014, Raven was convicted on all 3 and sentenced to 27 months. The court stayed the sentence for 3 years with specific conditions: workhouse time, counseling, and anger management classes. Raven completed all of it and moved on. By 2019, Raven had finally made the decision to leave. She took her daughter, moved out of the home she'd been sharing with Randall, and went to stay with her father. She was trying to move forward with her life, trying to build the future she deserved without him in it. But Randall had one more way to maintain control over her. He kept all of Raven's belongings, her clothes, her daughter's clothes, everything, and he refused to give any of it back. Randall knew exactly what he was doing. He was using those belongings as leverage, as a way to keep Raven connected to him, to force her to keep coming back and engaging with him.
When police arrive, Watkins is refusing to let Raven inside to get her and Arjea's clothes.
All of her clothes are in here. All of her diapers.
But the officer can't convince Watkins to cooperate and tells Raven it's a civil matter.
Unfortunately, I can't force him to open the door and let you go in and get the stuff, okay? That's where my hands are tied.
They'd have to find another time to get her stuff.
Around this time, Raven started making some posts on social media that hinted at what she was going through. On November 14th, 2019, she reposted something that said, "Breakups are okay. Starting over is okay. Moving on is okay. Saying no is okay. Being alone is okay. What is not okay is staying somewhere where you are not happy, valued, or appreciated. That's not okay." On November 15th, 2019, she wrote, "'Cause I make my own money and my own rules. I love who I want and who I choose to. But I guess that makes me undesirable." And on November 19th, 2019, she reposted, "Having a baby mama is like having an opposition you can't hurt." On Thanksgiving Day, Raven was at her mother's house, enjoying the holiday. She posted about having an extra turkey if anyone needed one, sharing photos of the meal she'd made. Everything seemed like a normal Thanksgiving with family. That afternoon, around 4 o'clock, Randall called. He told Raven she could come by and pick up her things. So she went. When she arrived at his place on James Avenue North, Randall wouldn't let her in. He refused to open the door or give her the items he'd said she could have. Raven called the police, and an officer came out. The officer explained he couldn't make Randall open his door, and there wasn't much he could do, stating that it was a civil issue, and told Raven she'd need to come back another time. She left frustrated and went back to her mother's house. Then, Randall called again. This time, he told Raven she could get everything, all her belongings, but only if she brought their daughter to see him, and only if she came at 9:30 that night. So Raven left with her daughter. Meanwhile, Raven had also called her father and brother, telling them what was happening. They were getting ready to leave too, heading toward Randall's place. But Raven had already arrived by the time they were on their way.
Hours later, Raven returned for her things. It didn't go well. At 9:37 p.m., Raven and Watkins make simultaneous 911 calls from inside the house. Raven telling the dispatcher she just wants her clothes.
At 9:37 p.m., 2 911 calls went out at the exact same time. One from Raven, one from Randall. Both of them were inside the house. Raven told dispatch she was scared, that she wanted to leave, but Randall wouldn't let her. Randall's call was completely different. He was yelling, claiming Raven had kicked him, demanding that police come remove her from his property.
Yeah, I'm sure he has weapons. Does he have any weapons on him? Right now, and I'm nervous, and I just want to leave here.
Watkins calls too, yelling.
He just kicked me in my face. He just kicked me in my face.
There would never be any indication that Raven actually assaulted him, court records show.
Officers were dispatched. Around 9:42 p.m., they arrived at the house on James Avenue North. After about 2 minutes at the scene, the officers cleared it and left. They told dispatch that nobody was answering and the house was dark.
Approximately 5 minutes later,
4-2 on arrive.
MPD pulls up to the house, already warned there's a domestic dispute. Here's the body cam video Raven's mother fought to see. They walk to the house and tap on the screen door. When there's no answer, they don't look in the windows, don't announce themselves, or even knock again.
4-2 on the house, it's all dark and nobody's answering the door. Can you try and call back, please?
Dispatch calls Randall Watkins.
421, I got voice now, call back.
No one calls Raven.
Copy, thank you. We'll be code 4.
Code for clearing the scene. After just about 2 minutes at the house, officers leave. Minutes later, Watkins calls again. Still inside the house, police just left.
Yes, I just called 911. I was trying to see how long it takes for the officers to come get my daughter, mom, on my house. We're going to get them back out there. If anything changes, let us know.
Minutes went by. Then, Randall called 911 again. He was still inside the house with Raven, still claiming she wouldn't leave. He asked how long it would take for officers to come back. The dispatcher assured him they were being sent back out. But here's the thing. Instead of going straight there, those officers reportedly went several blocks away to use a bathroom first. After that, they started looking into a stolen vehicle.
Officers are re-dispatched, but records show they first drove several blocks away to use the bathroom and then decided to investigate a stolen car.
At 10:08 p.m., Raven called her father and explained what was happening. Her father and brother were already in the car, trying to get to her as fast as they could. Meanwhile, Randall was on his 5th 911 call that night. His tone had changed. He was getting more aggressive, and the dispatcher was working to keep him calm.
Then, at 10:08,
And the officer's still not here.
a 5th call from this house, Watkins grows more volatile.
You don't put your hands on me, Dad.
The 911 dispatcher pleads with Watkins to calm down.
You need to get out of her face. You go to another room.
Little Arjaya can be heard crying.
A whole nother separate room.
6 minutes into that last call, which was also about 30 minutes after the officers knocked and walked away, a shot was fired.
Move out my way, man.
A gunshot.
Officers finally arrived back at the house. Randall walked out the front door with his hands up and was taken into custody immediately. Inside the house, they found Raven unresponsive.
Show me your hands.
When police finally did return,
Somebody shot? Yes. Come out here.
it was too late.
There's a little kid here.
Arjaya's mom was dead.
We got a victim here, guys.
Officers immediately started CPR, trying to save her life. She was rushed to North Memorial Medical Center, where she passed away shortly before 11 o'clock that night. The medical report showed that she'd been hit once in the back, just like Randall had done to his friend back in 1995, just like he'd done to Raven's father, always from behind, when they couldn't see it coming.
Raven loved that little girl. That was her little mini-me. I'm fighting for my daughter, and that's not gonna stop.
Raven's father and brother arrived at the house while police were still there. Her father told officers about the call he'd received from Raven at 10:08 p.m., how she'd said Randall wouldn't let her out. He told them about the history, how Randall had also attacked him when he tried to confront him about what he did to his daughter, explaining that Randall had taken all of Raven's belongings and their daughter's belongings, using them as a leverage over her.
A man is going to prison for killing his ex-girlfriend in front of their toddler on Thanksgiving Day. Randall Watkins was convicted last month. Today, a judge sentenced him to the maximum penalty. Raven Gant was 27 years old when she died. She had gone to the house she shared with Watkins to retrieve some clothing when Watkins shot her in front of their 2-year-old, JJ.
Randall was booked into custody at 3:28 a.m. on November 29, 2019. He was charged with second-degree charges, illegal possession charges, and was held without bail.
She was my backbone, my rock, and I miss her every second, every minute of the day.
Raven's mother, Lakeisha, was heartbroken, but beyond the grief was anger about how everything unfolded that night. She had questions that no one could answer. Why did the officers only knock for 2 minutes before leaving? Why didn't they announce they were police? Why didn't they check windows or do more to make contact when they knew what kind of call it was? For 3 years, Raven's mother fought to obtain the body camera footage from that night. Finally, a judge ordered Minneapolis to turn over the footage. When she saw it, everything she suspected was confirmed.
They could have saved her life.
Lakeisha and her attorney, Oliver Nelson, are now suing Minneapolis police for wrongful death.
I don't think any reasonable person, much less a reasonable police officer, can look at the body cam footage and conclude that that was a thorough investigation into Ms. Gant's domestic abuse allegations.
But did MPD do anything wrong?
This is a critical moment, and it could be because they're not answering. Something is going on inside that house.
KARE 11 asked multiple police experts to look at the reports and the body camera video. Among them, Mark Wynn, a former Nashville police detective who now trains police nationwide on domestic abuse response.
But you don't just drive away after 2 minutes and tapping once on the door. That's not proper response to a domestic violence call.
What should they have done? He says he required his officers to check the back door, announce themselves, talk to the neighbors, listen for noises, especially in a case with multiple calls where there might be a weapon.
That indicates high priority. There's no margin for error.
Failures, he thinks, should make Minneapolis review training and policy.
A call like this, considering there's been a death, should be reviewed from top to bottom.
On December 6, 2019, a vigil was held at the corner of West Broadway and Lyndale Avenue in Minneapolis. For 3 hours, family, friends, and neighbors came together. Hundreds of people showed up, holding candles and sharing memories. Raven's funeral drew even more people. Her brother spoke about his sister, about how she brought people out, about how generous she was. Her best friend Jakara described her as fun-loving, the life of the room, probably the most fashionable person there. But beyond the style and the confidence, Raven was a hard worker, the kind of person who showed up early, stayed late, did what needed to be done. The pain Raven's family felt was about more than just losing her. It was about all the missed opportunities to stop this. If her father had pressed charges when Randall shot him, if the charges from July 2019 hadn't been dismissed when Randall was accused of hitting Raven, if he'd been in the system, possibly in jail, if those officers had done more than knock for 2 minutes, if they'd tried harder to make contact, Raven would still be alive. Raven's daughter now lives with her grandmother and extended family.
I want her to know that she had an awesome mom who loved her very, very much.
She uses the past tense because Raven was killed on Thanksgiving Day.
What's you got in there? Let's see what you got.
Valentine's Day.
Are you happy?
Another holiday 5-year-old Arjaya spends without her mother, and Lakeisha Gant spends without her daughter, Raven.
So even though I miss her with everything, I know that she's in a better place.
In a better place because more than 3 years ago, on Thanksgiving 2019, Raven was murdered. Her ex-boyfriend, Randall Watkins, convicted of shooting her.
There's a little kid here.
Right in front of little Arjaya. But Lakeisha still had an unanswered question.
I told my husband, I say something isn't right.
911 was that?
Why did police respond to a 911 call her daughter made that night and then just leave?
We just kept asking for the body cam footage.
For 3 years, the city refused.
Did you feel like they were stonewalling you?
I did. Absolutely, I did.
In October 2020, nearly 12 months after losing Raven, Randall went to trial, which lasted 2 weeks. Then, on October 23, 2020, a Hennepin County jury found Randall guilty on all 3 counts. At his sentencing, Raven's father addressed the court and spoke to Randall about the daughter he'd taken, describing how beautiful she was, how hard she worked, how she had dreams of making something of her life.
During the trial, Raven's family spoke of the devastating impact her death has had on them, particularly on JJ. Raven's father recounted how JJ, now terrified of the police and traumatized by the sight of ambulances, speaks of the day her father killed her mother. The judge, imposing the maximum sentence, acknowledged the profound burden JJ will carry for the rest of her life.
She talked about it with other kids that just come up. My daddy killed my mom. When she see ambulances, she think her mom's in the ambulance. She see police, she just terrified of the police, terrified. And this what you did to a baby.
Randall got his chance to speak as well. He said he loved Raven and their daughter, that he always would, claiming what happened wasn't intentional.
My deepest compassion for the loss of Raven, because I'm devastated by it, and not because I'm convicted, but because I truly love Raven. I truly loved our daughter. I will always love them both.
The judge sentenced Randall to the maximum penalty allowed by law, 40 years in prison. But the criminal trial wasn't the end for Raven's family. They filed a wrongful lawsuit for Raven's passing against the Minneapolis Police Department and the officers who responded that night. The lawsuit argued that officers should have taken more extensive measures given the 911 calls. The case made it to the Minnesota Court of Appeals. Oral arguments happened in April 2024, over 4 years after Raven's passing. On Thanksgiving Day in November 2025, Raven's brother made a memorial post. He wrote, "My life definitely hasn't been the same without you. I miss you so much, sis." Raven's mother channeled her grief into something meaningful. She established a foundation called Be Their Voice to provide support and resources for women trying to leave dangerous relationships.
Now she hopes her family's story of devastation will give others strength to walk away.
That's not okay for any women, for any young adult, for no female to experience. It's just not right.
I hope these stories help you recognize warning signs and encourage you to seek help or offer support before it's too late. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.